3 years ago, I stood in a courthouse wearing a $10,000 designer dress, marrying a man I barely knew while his 5-year-old daughter clutched a bouquet of wildflowers. Everyone thought it was a publicity stunt, my ultimate revenge against my cheating ex-fiancé. They were wrong. What happened next changed everything. If you're enjoying this story, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more incredible real-life journeys that will touch your heart. Your support means everything. My name is Olivia Chen. At 32, I had everything money could buy, a thriving tech company worth millions, a penthouse overlooking Central Park, and a social circle filled with New York's elite. What I didn't have was love. Not the real kind, anyway. James had been perfect on paper. Handsome, Harvard-educated, heir to a banking fortune. Our engagement made the society pages, and our wedding was set to be the event of the season. 3 months before the wedding, I found him in our bed with my personal assistant. The humiliation was unbearable, especially when the tabloids got hold of the story. Tech tycoon traded in for younger model, ran the headlines. James didn't even have the decency to apologize, he simply said he needed someone less focused on business and more focused on him. I threw myself into work, building walls around my heart that were higher than my company's stock prices. Then came that fateful rainy Tuesday when my car broke down in a neighborhood I'd never normally visit. That's when I met Noah. He was struggling with grocery bags, a pink backpack, and an umbrella while trying to unlock the door to his modest apartment building. His daughter, I would later learn her name was Lily, was complaining about her wet shoes. When I asked if I could use his phone to call for assistance, he invited me in without hesitation, though I was clearly out of place in my Louboutins and Burberry coat. Noah was a high school English teacher and single father. His wife had abandoned them when Lily was just a baby, unable to handle the responsibilities of motherhood. He lived paycheck to paycheck but spoke about books and poetry with more passion than I'd ever heard from my wealthy associates discussing their latest acquisitions. I found myself returning to that neighborhood, making excuses to see Noah again. We became friends, though we couldn't have been more different. He didn't recognize my name or know about my company. To him, I was just Olivia, the woman who sometimes brought ice cream for Lily and discussed Austen and Dickens with him. Then James announced his engagement to my former assistant with a splashy feature in Vanity Fair. The article mentioned me by name, suggesting I was too cold and career-focused for a real relationship. The pain and anger I thought I'd buried came rushing back. That night, slightly drunk on expensive wine, I called Noah and proposed a ridiculous plan: we would get married, just for show. I'd pay off his student loans, set up a college fund for Lily, and after a suitable amount of time, we'd quietly divorce. He thought I was joking at first. "Why would you want to marry me?" he asked, genuinely confused. "Because you're everything he's not," I replied honestly. "Kind, intelligent, and a wonderful father." It would drive him crazy. To my surprise, Noah agreed, but with conditions. No publicity stunts, no using Lily for photos, and we would live together to make it seem real to his daughter. He wouldn't take any money except for Lily's education fund. The courthouse wedding was small but made the news anyway. Tech millionaire's revenge marriage to nobody schoolteacher was the cruelest headline. My phone exploded with texts from so-called friends who thought I'd lost my mind. James sent a condescending message: "Didn't think you'd go this far to prove a point." Moving into Noah's 2-bedroom apartment was a culture shock. No housekeeping service, no doorman, no personal chef. The first time I tried to use the washing machine, I flooded the bathroom. Lily found this hilarious and appointed herself my life teacher. "You're really bad at normal stuff," she informed me one evening while showing me how to make macaroni and cheese from a box. "But that's okay. Daddy says everyone has different talents." Noah and I slept in separate rooms and maintained our charade. We developed a friendship based on mutual respect and our shared love of literature. He never asked about my money or seemed impressed by my business accomplishments. Instead, he valued my opinions and treated me as an equal partner in our fake marriage. Slowly, life in that small apartment became more real than my previous existence. I found myself looking forward to family dinners around the scratched wooden table, helping Lily with her homework, and falling asleep to the sound of Noah reading classics aloud to his daughter through the thin walls. 3 months into our arrangement, Noah lost his job when budget cuts eliminated several teaching positions at his school. He was devastated, not for himself but for his students. That night, after Lily was asleep, I found him on the balcony, staring at the city lights. "I can help," I offered. "No," he said firmly. "That wasn't part of our deal." "What if it's not about the deal anymore?" I asked quietly. Something shifted between us that night. We stayed up until dawn, talking about our childhoods, our dreams, our fears. Noah had grown up poor but loved, while I had grown up wealthy but emotionally neglected. He admitted he'd always wanted to write a novel but never had the time between teaching and parenting. I confessed that despite my success, I'd never felt truly accomplished because nothing I achieved seemed to fill the emptiness inside me. The next day, I used my connections to help Noah secure a position at a prestigious private school with better pay and benefits. He was initially resistant but eventually accepted, recognizing it was an opportunity he'd earned through his own merit. 6 months into our marriage, James and his new wife attended the same charity gala as Noah and me. I had expected to feel vindicated, triumphant even. Instead, I felt nothing but gratitude that James had set me free to find something real. That night, Noah kissed me for the first time. Not for show, not for anyone else's benefit. Just for us. "I think I'm falling in love with my wife," he whispered. Our fake marriage gradually transformed into something neither of us had anticipated. I scaled back my work hours to spend more time with Lily. Noah started writing his novel in the evenings. We moved to a larger apartment, not extravagant, but comfortable enough for the 3 of us. 1 year after our courthouse wedding, we renewed our vows, this time with genuine love and commitment. The ceremony was intimate, with only people who truly cared about us present. Lily served as both flower girl and ring bearer, proudly telling everyone that she had 2 parents again. The real test came when Lily's biological mother suddenly reappeared, claiming she wanted to be part of her daughter's life. The woman had seen our story in the media and perhaps thought there was financial gain to be had. The custody battle that followed was brutal and expensive. During this difficult time, I discovered strengths in Noah I hadn't fully appreciated before: his unwavering moral compass, his gentle but firm protection of his daughter, his refusal to speak ill of his ex-wife despite her abandonment. And Noah saw me fight for his family as if it were my own, because it had become exactly that. We won the case, but offered Lily's mother supervised visitation rights. Noah believed his daughter deserved to know her biological mother, despite everything. His capacity for forgiveness humbled me. 2 years into our marriage, I became pregnant. The night I told Noah, he cried, something I'd never seen him do before. "You've given me everything I never knew I wanted," he said, holding me close. "And you've given me everything I always needed but never understood," I replied. Today, our family includes Lily, now 8 and fiercely protective of her 2-year-old brother. Noah's novel was published last year to critical acclaim. He still teaches because he loves it, not because he needs to. I still run my company, but with a new perspective on what success truly means. As for James, I ran into him last month at a business conference. He's on his 2nd divorce and looked tired, hollow. He asked if my experiment was still going on, unable to comprehend that what began as revenge had transformed into the most authentic part of my life. It wasn't an experiment, I told him. It was the best decision I ever made. Sometimes the most unexpected choices lead us exactly where we need to be. My marriage may have started as a way to prove something to someone else, but it became the means through which I finally proved something to myself, that I was capable of loving and being loved, not for my money or status, but for who I truly am. Life doesn't always give us what we want. Sometimes, it gives us what we need in the most unexpected packages. A broken-down car on a rainy day. A kind stranger with a pink backpack and groceries. A second chance at understanding what really matters. If you've stayed with me until the end of this story, thank you. Remember that true happiness rarely comes in the form we expect. Sometimes it arrives in a modest apartment with crayon drawings on the refrigerator and macaroni dinners around a scratched table. Sometimes it's found in the eyes of a child who teaches you how to use a washing machine. Sometimes it's in the arms of someone who loves you not despite your flaws, but because of the strength it took to overcome them. Like and subscribe if this story touched your heart, and share it with someone who might need to hear that the best revenge isn't about getting even, it's about moving forward into a life filled with authentic love and purpose.